morning, guys. Alright, let me get this camera situated. Welcome back to another full day of eating. We are currently cutting. We are down about, today wasn't the best weigh-in, but yesterday 198.8 was good. So we were at 212.5, so we're about 14 pounds down, I guess. I just woke up. I am rushing out of my house to go do legs with my friends. This is my breakfast. 3 slices of the infamous keto bread. Right. I got these Premier protein pancakes. If you have these where you are, they only sell them when I go to PA. Absolutely fire. I find it hard to believe that there's 15 grams of protein in that. And then 1 bottle of a Premier protein shake. I'll put the macros on the screen. I'm in a huge rush. I really gotta get out of here. Gotta down that with obviously a shit ton of this on it. And 1 scoop of the Woke AF. Oh, let me get that on the screen. 1 scoop of the Woke AF from Bucked Up. We have lights today. I don't like too much pre in my system. I get nauseous, especially on a day when it's like high CNS activation. You feel me? So, code Derek, 20% off your order for the Bucked Up stuff. Anyway, I will see you in the gym. I'm trying to get this workout recorded for you guys. Hopefully I do, and then you get to see it. Oh, and stick around for lunch because we have a lot of science-based lifter drama. I love how my videos have basically become a full day of eating and then me just telling you about what current drama is going on the Instagram or the TikTok. It's pretty entertaining, I would say. Is going on? Oh my lord, what a day. Raining like crazy, running around with the dog, taking him to the vet, her to the vet. Finally getting to eat the second meal. So we have 12 ounces of trimmed chicken thighs, boneless and skinless, and 253 grams of white rice with this hot sauce and some Sprite Zero. Basically just eat a shit ton of protein in the beginning 2 meals and then I kind of enjoy myself for like the next 2 meals. You know? Oh shit, I tracked that. 53. So this is gonna be 70 carbs, 14.7 grams of fat, and 73.5 grams of protein. So far for the day we're at 1200 calories. Alright. I air fry the chicken, comes out fucking good. I highly recommend one if you don't have one. What'd you guys think of the leg workout? It was a little sped up, you know. I missed recording the calves, but I also missed a set on the fucking, on the whatever you call that. What is that, Carrie? The isometric, the thing I was doing for the squats. I mean for the leg press. I don't even know what that movement's called.
I don't know right now.
I don't know. Everything was taken. I was in a rush. And my legs were beat up already. They were a little sore still. God forbid. God forbid. Oh my God, the fatigue demon. But I did go a little lighter so I wouldn't be like too sore, too fucked up for my next leg workout. You feel me? I had to work out today though, or else I wouldn't have worked out for a minute. So we've been all fucked up. You gotta make the best of each situation. Everything can't be optimal, which leads me into my discussion about the fucking deeper dive into the optimal lifting bro drama. you know, it's crazy. Like, what's been going on? I mean, I don't know. I just got dragged into it a little bit. Like, I've been seeing my friends on Instagram, like, who do content too, talking about, like, fatigue all the time and all this stuff. So I've been like, what are you guys talking about? So a couple more posts about it, and I started to kind of realize, like, how ridiculous this stuff is. And it seems like the optimal lifters, so I'm gonna be real with you, I don't even pay attention to them anymore, really. Here and there, you know? But they are talking about doing low, like, I'm guessing it's, like, really low volume, I don't really know. And then, this shit is crazy. You basically want to train so that you leave reps in reserve. 1 to 2 reps in reserve, so that you won't accrue too much fatigue, so that you won't ever have to do a deload. There's supposedly a study that came out that's showing that they took 2 groups of people where basically one group trained to failure, the other group trains with reps in reserve, and they each got similar results in terms of gains, I guess, or the exact same results, but one had much more fatigue and one had reduced strength. The one who had reps in reserve seemed to perform better strength-wise and had the same muscle gain, but also didn't have as much fatigue or whatever. Listen, bro, you know, so you know, it's becoming a big issue for the bros, you know, because listen, the bros train all different types of ways, right? We have all different types of approaches, you know. How am I gonna word this? Like, I think their main issue with it is just that it seems like you're trying to do a lot less and figure out how to get better results. But the problem is, every time we see, you know, followers of these guys, like, you know, I see, like, what, Elijah Mundy, TNF, Jeff Nippard, Ryan Jewers, guys I respect. Those guys look good, but the thing is that the people that are following them, it's like, it feels like 90% of the time that you click onto their profile, you know, it's almost like they're like a clan, you know. A lot of them have a little purple cross in their bio. They got the wrist wraps on. They got the hoodie on. It's just like you see a lot of the common things. They have all the gear, you know, like all these different things to use in the gym. They're doing the freaking cable pull downs with like the D handles attached to the lat bar. You know, it's just like crazy looking stuff, right? Just like extra looking stuff, right? But every time you see their physique, it just doesn't look like they really lift. It feels like that. I'm sure it's not 100% like that. I'm sure there's guys that get good results doing it. But it just feels like they're not getting the same results as us bros are used to seeing. I put out a video, I was explaining, look, this was me after doing P90X for a year. Hard as fuck. Never worrying about fatigue or reps in the tank or any of this stuff. And I thought my results were pretty decent. And it seemed like all my friends that were dialed in and really took the gym serious kind of looked like that. Kind of got results along those lines. Not everyone. There were kids that, you know, were like hard gainers or whatever, you know. But it just seems like this generation, like they're talking about all this optimal stuff, and the results just don't seem like better than the bro kids, you know, like, or better than what we're used to seeing for people just following like a normal bodybuilding approach, you know? And I'm all for optimization. I've learned, and like, but here's the thing. I don't want to sound like an idiot, you know, because how do I put this? There's a lot of kids that have come into my comments talking like AI fucking robots, okay? Talking about all this stuff, fatigue and low volume and deloads and shit. And they keep talking about studies as if they think that I'm scared to admit. I don't fucking read studies, bro. Like, I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? I have no reason to sit there and analyze studies. My approach to training is, it's hard to put into words, but I'll put it to you this way. I started lifting when I was 18 or 19 years old, and I did look into a lot of studies and follow like the best creators and listen to them, and, you know, really try to be optimal. So I get the mindset, you know. After that year of P90X, when I really started, I got a gym membership, got into it. You know, I was like obsessed with trying to be optimal at points. And then I would just also gain knowledge from just seeing things that worked on my physique, seeing things that helped me get good gains, like listening to friends that I thought sounded like they were learning things, listening to people coming out on YouTube or people on bodybuilding.com, just over time acquiring my own opinions, basically, and putting it into practice. About 3 years ago, I found a coach who has a lot of the same opinions, and we work well together. And honestly, I don't feel like I have any reason to change anything that I'm doing. My bulks go smooth, my cuts go smooth, and all I really have to do is basically, get to 176 pounds, stage ready, 4% body fat, 5% body fat, absolutely peeled, and see what kind of potential I have to either keep competing in bodybuilding or to, call it quits and say, I tried and that's pretty much, my potential. I saw it and kind of just take a step back and do whatever from there. So I have no reason to learn much more. Sure, I definitely want to learn more about prep. So I can start coaching guys through that. You could say there's certain aspects. I'm always open-minded, but I understand the debate between the reps and reserve stuff and the low volume stuff because, look, how could you go into a set, right? I can't even picture myself thinking, all right, brother, Derek, leave 2 reps in reserve on this one, right? Because half the time when I get to failure, I don't even know I'm going to be there in 2 reps. Does that make sense? And it's like, what if I would have had 4, 6, 8 reps in the tank? A lot of times you're leg pressing, you're squatting, you probably have 10 to 12 reps in the tank when you feel you're at failure, And us bros, we train kind of past failure a lot of the time where, the last few reps are a little bit like a partial or a little sketchy, bad form, and I don't care really if the literature doesn't say that. I'm still going to train like that because it's working for me, and I'm not going to risk not doing that. Also, I could avoid doing a deload, which is like a week off the gym for me, or some people do reduced training for 7 days. Probably other different ways you could do it. But I look forward to deloads. When you're busting your ass for 20 weeks on a fucking serious dialed in bulk, eating the exact macros you're supposed to eat, whatever, really not deviating from the course, and you're fucking working, you can't wait to take a fucking week off the gym. And it's nice because when you go back to the gym, it's like, oh, fine, I'm refreshed. I had a little break mentally. It's physical, it's mental, fatigue, the joints, the everything, So I don't understand it, And the low volume, I'm not sure where they're going with the low volume. I'm a moderate volume guy, You see the way I train in these videos. I pretty much do 2 to 3 sets of every movement. I'll probably, how many sets a week? Let's see chest, for example. I'd say I'm doing anywhere from 8 to 16, between 8 and 16 sets a week for chest, right? Because I'm training push-pull legs and I take 2 days off a week pretty much. So you could say, yeah, I'm training about, on average, 16 sets a week for chest. To me, is that whatever you want to consider. I consider that probably moderate volume. 10 to 12 reps I try to do. I'm a fan of it. I enjoy training that way. Sometimes I'll hit 8 to 10, but I like having a longer set, slower. I feel like it does something for me. It feels beneficial, whether the science agrees or not. It just seems to be working for me, and I have no reason to really change it, Sure, I'm open-minded, but here's my thing. I'm going to compare it to this stuff right here, diet soda, right? The science, old school guys never drank this shit for prep, right? Now everyone's drinking this shit during prep because through the science we've realized calories in, calories out, right? So we apply that because we see it works. But this low, as I'm saying, this low volume reps in reserve, it seems very weird to the bros, to not go in with the attitude to train hard. And then we see the guys that are doing it and they don't really look like they're getting the same type of results as the guys who've been lifting, like the bros for so long. So it's we're not going to go towards that route. Maybe if we start seeing people getting good results like that, maybe we'll go to it. Does that make sense? Anyway, that's a long ass rant. I hope that summarizes all of my thoughts. I had to make that long because I know it could be someone could take my words and really, say whatever, this guy's this guy's that. You know what I mean? So I really wanted to get a clear point across. Anyway, this is pretty fire. I have the longest rant than Harry things, right?
It's probably a 15-minute video, right?
Anyway, that's enough out of me. I hope I have enough calories to get Chinese food tonight. Facts. I think this is the last week on. I actually forgot to mention that we're on 3,150 calories right now. We're eating 250 grams of protein a day. I forgot the carbs, 70 grams of fat. You know. And yeah. Anyway, I have nothing else to say. If you can believe that. So I'll see you at dinner. Just so you guys can see an up close of the meal. Chicken and broccoli, pork dumplings, fried wontons, 250 grams of white rice. Alright, how you guys like my new sign? If anyone out there wants to design us a logo, this is like the, oh shit, my Sprite Zero. This is like the sign that we have before the real sign, if that makes sense. Right, Carrie?
Right.
You gotta talk loud, we don't have our mics on. You gotta talk loud. Sprite Zero. One a day keeps the body fat away.
Or like a whole fucking 2 liter.
What? I split one with you every day.
No, I don't. I drink 1 glass.
This meal is
Easily 700.
you're
800.
Guess right now.
850 calories.
Now I'm scared.
I can't
Because
see.
Carrie always underestimates fucking calories. Now I'm scared.
No, I've gotten more accurate.
This is a little bit of an estimation meal that I've been doing for a minute now. Alright? It's 919 calories. I tracked the chicken and broccoli, because it's chicken and broccoli with white rice, and 2 steamed pork dumplings with the little fried wonton things on top. I dumped the whole small with light sauce. The chicken and broccoli comes with light sauce. Why are you looking at me like that? And I tracked that container as 50 grams of protein, 30 carbs, 15 grams of fat. And then I weigh the rice, and then I have the 2 pork dumplings, and I track them. It looked accurate on MyFitnessPal. So it comes out to 101 carbs, 20 grams of fat, and 64 grams of protein, 919 calories. Now that Carrie was only 78 calories, 79 calories off, I'm scared. What did you say?
I told you
What did you
I've
say?
gotten more accurate at
Oh.
looking at things and knowing how many calories it is.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
When did you acquire this new skill?
Since I started losing weight. Bitch.
So we have good news. I'm not giving this advice to you. It's something you should necessarily do. Because it's a little crazy. But I track my weight at night a lot. Right? So I'll do like a nighttime weigh-in. And then I'll do a morning weigh-in. I really track my weight a lot just to see how my body moves with different meals, different amounts of calories. Just to get a really good idea of it. It's a little OCD, but it really helps during cheat days. Because if I know about how many, like before I go to have my cheat meal, like at night, I told you I typically do it at night, I'll know like, oh, you know, I can pretty much eat this much food. It's kind of silly, but because it's a lot of water retention, but and get my weight not to move that much, if that makes sense. So it's just something I've been doing for a minute now. A little crazy, but it works. So my new weigh-in for the night was 198.4. That's the lowest weigh-in of the cup. Fire.
I'm really tired.
Alright, so I have one more meal at this, but the problem is you eat 2,000 fucking calories right now, so, you know, I have another 1,000 calories to eat. I don't know how I'm going to do that before I go to bed. They got it ready for me. It's already 8 o'clock at night. So, anyway, we'll see you at the pre-bed snack, which is not far away from now. This shit is absolutely fire. See you in a second. Last and final meal, 4 Polios and 170 grams of this cereal, s'more cereal, fire. The best cereal ever. And about 94 grams of Fairlife chocolate milk. I'm eating this and I'm going to bed. See you in the next one. Peace.